Alright there guys, and welcome back to another video. Right, the very first anime movie I ever covered on this channel was Your Name, back in 2018, wasn't it? And it was released in 2016. Now, I haven't covered an anime movie that was also released in 2016 since then, I don't think. Until today, where I'm going to be taking a look at and talking about A Silent Voice. But before I get into that, a few things. Number one, you should be thanking Rowan for this video, not me, because he's the one that gave me the idea to make this video. So yeah, don't thank Rowan for this video. Do thank Rowan for this video, not me. And number two, if you are sensitive of the topics of bullying and suicide, then you probably shouldn't watch this video. So that's my disclaimer. If you don't mind hearing it, then by all means, please keep watching. But if you don't, if you are sensitive to those topics, you should probably click off right now. Okay, so hopefully anyone who is sensitive to those subjects has already clicked off, and anyone who's okay with it is still here. Let's go. So the movie begins with a phrase, and that phrase being the shape of voice. And basically, that's an important phrase, because we will be seeing it again, but not for a long time. So we meet our protagonist, Yasho, and he is doing a few things. Number one, he's crossing off the dates on his calendar up until April 15th, and then the calendar ends. But you're thinking, hang on a minute, April has 30 days in it. Why is this calendar only got up to 15? Well, it doesn't take too long to find that out. He is selling all of his possessions, working what he thinks is going to be his final day at his job, and then he goes and he puts an envelope of money onto his mom's bed next to where she's sleeping, leaves the house, arrives at a bridge, climbs onto the edge of it, and is about to jump. But he doesn't, because he sees some kids playing around the area where he would end up landing. So yeah, he doesn't end up jumping. And then we move into a flashback to when he was a kid. And he is in 6th grade at his school, and a new transfer student arrives called Shoko. And she is deaf, right? She can't hear. And the only way for her to communicate with people is through her notebook. People do start doing that for the beginning, but they grow tired of it quite quickly, and because she can't hear, they start saying a lot of mean things about her. People start avoiding her. People start bad-mouthing her, but most of all, Yasho really really goes in when it in terms of bullying. He really goes in. He pushes her about. He makes fun of her. He steals the earpieces that she's wearing to try and help her hear better. He steals about 10 pairs of them. Every single time she has a pair of them, he steals them and throws them out the window. And he gets help doing this from his friend Naona. And Naoka, that's it. She helps him. And basically, Shoko's first friend from that school, called Yoko, basically she stops going to school after seeing how much Shoko is getting bullied. And it doesn't take too long until Shoko then also transfers to another school because the bullying was so relentless. And Yasho actually takes home her notebook that was thrown in a fountain. Then we get another flashback inside of a flashback, where it shows Yasho being new to that school and him being bullied by everyone. So then you think maybe he's doing this to make himself feel better because of all the bullying he suffered through. That could be that could be an answer. Then we flash forward to when he's in high school. His mom, rightfully pretty pissed off at him for wanting to try and end his own life and jump off that bridge. With but how much money was in the envelope that he put next to her? 1.7 million yen. That's how much. And his mom ends up accidentally burning it all. So, great. So he went through all that, and then she ended up by accidentally burning the money anyway. But she says she doesn't want it because of the reason why he'd given it her. So I guess that evens it out. But in high school, he is walking there, and then sees this guy named Tomohiro, and his bike is being grabbed by another student. So Yasho just offers his own bike to the student that's trying to steal Tomohiro's bike. So he takes his, and Tomohiro is quite touched by Yasho's generosity there. To where at the end of that high school day, Tomohiro finds Yasho's bike and brings it back to him. And within that day at his high school, every single person there had a big blue X over their face, which signifies they don't want to even acknowledge. Everyone with that doesn't even want to acknowledge his existence. That's what the blue X symbolizes on their face. So after the day of high school, the two of them, Yasho and Tomohiro, go to a restaurant together to hang out. And Yasho asks Tomohiro, what does it mean to be a friend? And considering all the hard-hitting subjects in this movie, this scene came out of nowhere as the funniest scene of the whole movie. Basically, Tomohiro gets a chip, puts it, dips it in red sauce, holds it like a cigarette or a cigar, and starts talking like a mafia boss. It's hilarious. I don't know what thought process the director had to have such a funny scene in such a hard-hitting movie out of nowhere. But it's an amazing scene. It's so funny. So the two of them start hanging out more. And then Yasho wants to get back into contact with Yoko, but he doesn't know how. So he asks Miki, another one of the students that was at his elementary school in the same year as him. So she tells him what school that Yoko goes to. And then the both Yasho and Tomohiro go together. They open as it's an all-girls school that she now goes to. So they open up the door, and this smaller person comes to the door and says that Shoko is not here. And Yasho says, but she's right there. You can literally see her. And this person introduces himself as Shoko's boyfriend. Which you'll find out not too long away, you'll find out that's not true at all. So they don't get the chance to speak with Shoko. So they leave. Shoko asks what was that, and she gets told that it was nothing. So they come back again another day with Shoko's notebook this time, that Yasho still has from those days when they were kids. He still has that in his possession after it was thrown in that fountain. And they finally do get to talk with her. And Yasho had been learning sign language quite a lot since he last saw Shoko, which made it easier for him to communicate with her, because he could just use sign language to talk to her and she could use it back. And something I really do have to credit for this movie is the actress that plays Shoko. Because Shoko's deaf, she's never heard someone speak before, has she? So she doesn't know how to speak herself. But her actress does such a great job of making her not really be understandable to begin with, but as the movie goes on more, she becomes easier and easier to understand over time. Which I think which I thought was incredible. Like, that is actually truly fantastic voice acting. Yeah, that is truly phenomenal voice acting. and deserves to be credited. Then we find out that that person that claimed to be Shoko's boyfriend isn't actually even a boy. It's her little sister, Yuzuru. So yeah, we've gone from boyfriend to little sister. That was kind of a bit of a drastic change. Two things definitely are not linked in any way. But Yuzuru managed to fool everyone, including me. Let's just say their mom isn't Yasho's biggest fan, as the first time she sees him, she just gives him a big slap right in the face. Although, considering what he did to her eldest daughter when they were kids, he kind of deserves it, doesn't he? So he gets told to leave their house, so he does. But Yasho and Yuzuru develop some kind of little bond where they can just talk to each other super easily. And Yasho wants to make amends for what he did as a kid. So him and Shoko both go to this bridge. Not the same bridge from the beginning. Not that bridge, a different one, closer to her school. And he gives her back her notebook. Oh no, she tries to take her notebook back, but he thinks because how many years it's been since she saw it, and the last time she saw it, it was in a fountain. She probably wouldn't want it back. So they're both pulling it, and then it flies off and lands in the water again. So she jumps off the bridge to go and get it, and then he does the same thing. And they do manage to recover it, and they both get out of the water. So this is where Yasho and Shoko start hanging out a little bit more. And guess what? They run into Naoka. You know, the girl that was helping him bully Shoko when they were kids. That threw her earpieces out of the school's window. Yeah, her. She starts pretending to act all friendly around Shoko. But really, she's just making fun of her again. And for some unbeknown reason, Shoko starts to develop feelings for Yasho. How can you like somebody that bullied you relentlessly as a kid? I don't know. Maybe it's because he's trying to make amends, but even then, that's still hard to believe. Basically, she told Yasho that she likes him in sign language, but he never learned that one. He doesn't know that. He never learned what I like you is in sign language. So he has no idea what she's on about. He thinks she's on about the moon. I like you, the moon. Yep, that checks out. Those are very, very similar things. So yeah, he doesn't actually ever find out that she likes him. And Then they go to a theme park. Yeah, they go to a theme park, and Naoka and Shoko both go in the Ferris wheel together. However, Shoko had a camera on her, a secret camera, I guess, on her, where Naoka basically tells Shoko she still hates her, and how everyone's lives was better before she turned up at their school back when they were kids. And she even knocks Shoko to the floor before the Ferris wheel ride ends. And then Yasho ends up finding out because of the hidden camera that Shoko had on her that she gives to Yuzuru, and then Yuzuru shows it to Yasho. So yeah, Naoka, not a great person. She's a pretty heartless. And if the aim of her character is for the audience to hate her, then she's doing a good job. And I'm pretty sure that is the point of her character. She's meant to be hated. Because what a horrible person she is. That's kind of that's the point. So then after that, they go to a fireworks show together. Only for Shoko to then go back home for some reason. But then Yuzuru asks for Yasho to go back to their house to get something. So he goes back there and sees Shoko standing on the balcony of their house. Yeah, she's standing on the balcony. You know what she's thinking of doing, don't you? She's about to jump. It's not that she hated anyone, it's that she hates herself. So she thought that the world would just be better off without her. She's about to jump, and then she does. She jumps off the balcony. But Yasho, with his mega quick speed, manages to get over to the balcony quick enough and grab her to stop her from going all the way down. He has a emotional conversation with her, telling her that what she shouldn't jump. This isn't the way. That's not the way to do it. As he's pulling her up, he then falls. So yeah, he prevented her from falling, and then he ended up falling himself. So he falls in and gets put into a coma, of which Naoka was with him the whole time. But of course, how would he know that? He wasn't there. He was in the coma. He wouldn't know that. So then at Shoko's school, Naoka is pushing her against some fencing. And basically verbally going in on her. It's like saying, it's all your fault. If it wasn't for you, Yasho wouldn't be in a coma right now. Technically, she's right, because if Shoko didn't try and jump off the balcony, Yasho wouldn't have had to jump, grab her, and then end up falling himself. But all Shoko can say is, I'm sorry. Most of this movie is her. When she does actually end up speaking, most of the time she's just apologizing for something. That's it. Then Yasho wakes up from his coma, runs down to the very same bridge he almost jumped off at the very, very beginning of the movie. Then him and Shoko both fall to their knees and start crying, and he says, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I felt like this too. I felt like there was no point in going on anymore. But that's not the right thing to do. And then Shoko's grandma dies, so they go to they have the funeral, and they're looking pretty well considering what just happened. They're holding up. They look like they're holding up quite well. And then how the movie finishes is a school festival. Yasho, Shoko, Tomohiro, Miki, Nelka, and a few others, including Yoko, all go to this school festival together. Maybe Shoko didn't get to ask properly that she liked Yasho. But we avoided the death of both characters. Neither character died. And you know that I'm a sucker for school festivals. I said that in my Fruits Basket Season 2 video I made earlier this year. And I just am. I'm a sucker for school festivals in anime. And this was no different. So, I want to conclude this video with, again, you should be thanking Rowan for this video, not me. I may have been the one who made it, but he's the one that came up with the idea. And I never would have come up with this idea either. So that makes it even better. It's not like this is an idea I probably would have had soon, because I wouldn't. And I'm gonna just make the bold statement here. In my opinion, and the movie ends with the phrase, the shape of voice, again. Told you we'd be seeing it again, just all the way at the end. The movie begins with that phrase and closes with that phrase, which I think is a very good way to end the movie. I mean, it deals with bullying, sadness. I mean, that's why I've titled this video Sadness, Ignorance, and Forgiveness, because that's what this movie, that's big parts of what this movie is about. Yeah, it just shows you how important voice and hearing really is. But yeah, we're gonna end this with my opinion and opinionated statement. A silent voice is better than your name. That is right, I said it. I said it. A silent voice is better than your name. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on my social medias. I don't know how many, I know I've said this enough times, but thank you again to Rowan for this video idea. You guys should thank him too. And until next time, guys, catch you later.